are coming to you from the Big A in Anaheim, where this afternoon WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Todd Frazier, it's Brett Laurie, Jose Abreu and our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, and Mike Scioscia's Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set. As you know, or may not know, we have lost the first two. We got a shutout in the opener, 7-0. Then last night they scored a run in the bottom of the first inning, and we got beat 1-0. 1-0. We've gone 32 innings without scoring a run. That ties the franchise record for that long a period of time. And an understatement, needless to say, our offense not good.
We're really not getting good at bats and not doing anything offensively, not doing anything to help ourselves. Can't hit with runners in scoring position. You see the 3 straight shutouts, first time that's happened since 1968, and the scoreless streak, 32 straight it's reached. The last time we scored a run was back on July 9th against Atlanta. So hopefully today the offense will come to life, and hopefully, and Jacob Turner, they can get something done. Well,
for them, it'll be this is the way baseball is. You know, when you're going bad, everything just gets worse. And we're facing a guy today with our offense the way it's been that we can't touch.
Well, Jared Weaver has always been very tough against our ball club, including this year when he saw him one time back in Chicago and they split the series. But he went 7 innings with 3 hits and just 1 earned run. He doesn't strike out a whole lot of people these days. He throws a cornucopia of very slow pitches, with each one being slower than the next. However, that's always given the Sox some problems. So there's the matchup. Jacob Turner in AAA, 18 starts, 4.7 ERA, up there at 4.71. And lifetime against our Sox, Jared Weaver, 14 starts, 11-2, an ERA below 2. And gone are the days when he can get it up there, 92-93. Now the fastball is 82-83 with changeups, slow curveballs. You've got to wait back. Sox haven't been able to do that against him.
All right, is anybody going to answer the bell for us? Who will it be? So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. By Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda, now at your Honda dealer. Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Ford, America's best-selling brand 6 years running, inviting you to check out our fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, who invite you to test drive our award-winning lineup today. Visit buyhyundai.com.
Go White Sox baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience television. It's just another beautiful day in Anaheim. Unfortunately, it has not been a beautiful series as the Angels have done a terrific job. Their pitching has been letter perfect. The Sox have not been able to scratch across a run. That is a familiar lament. But the pitching staff has been doing their job. AL ranking and overall earned run average is 5th. The starters ERA is 6th. The bullpen ERA is 5th. And quality starts, 49 of them. That's tied for 3rd. So if the offense does come to life, the second part of this season can be a little more successful than the first part was. Unfortunately, our Sox at 45-45, 8 games in back of Cleveland heading in, and Don Cooper has to feel happy about the achievements of his pitching staff, especially when you consider the uncertainty at 4-5. 4-5 have been outstanding with Gonzalez and Shields. And let's take a look at the wild card race as we enter play here today. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Astros, the Tigers, the Royals, the Mariners, and then our Sox are 4.5 back, but they have to climb over a whole lot of teams to get there. And it's one pretty good winning streak away from looking a whole lot more comfortable. So Jared Weaver starts to take his warm-up pitches, and let's take a look at how Robin is going to line up our Sox. A familiar 2 at the top with Anderson and Eaton and Jose Abreu, who in the last 10 has been very good. Then it's Melky and Todd. And Justin getting his second start as a DH. He looked pretty good last night. Swung the bat well, didn't have anything to show for it. Then Lowry, Shuck, and Omar Narvaez getting a chance to get his first start. So he's pretty happy about today. The defense and how they'll line up behind Jared Weaver. It's Cunningham, Trout, and Calhoun in the outfield with Escobar, Simmons, Petit, and Choi in the infield. Jet Bandy, who caught last night behind the plate once again, and it's Jared Weaver on the hill. 11-2 lifetime against our ball club. His ERA under 2. There you look at the numbers. They haven't been special, but he has been special against our team historically. He's given up 21 home runs. He's around the plate with just about everything. And you can't look for too much because it's not there. What is there is a curveball anywhere from 67 to 75, 78. His fastball will top out maybe on a good day at 84. More times than not, it's 81, 82. The umpires for the game this afternoon: C.B. Buckner behind the plate, Fielden Culbreth is at first, Jim Reynolds is at second, and Manny Gonzalez is at third. So they throw the ball around the infield. Tim Anderson has taken his walk to the batter's box. Weaver is ready to go, and we are ready to go for the third and final game of this series before we head to Seattle. So time to throw it to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As Tim Anderson, 0 for 7 in the series, looks at the first pitch from the big 6'7" right-hander. And that's about all you're going to get, Timmy. Right there, buddy. You're not going to get a whole bunch. Weaver's just been unbelievable against our club, though. Yeah, that slow curveball. In the last 7 starts against us, he is 7-0. 7-0 with a 2.18 ERA. Fouls that pitch back. That went at 86. That's as high as he's going to get.
And when he throws it at 86, more times than not, he wants to throw it up and out of the strike zone. He's got a very good straight change out of Long Beach State. Former #1 draft pick of these Angels.
Well, he is 57 games over 500, so it was a pretty good draft pick. One thing about him, there's not a smarter pitcher in the American League. I don't know about the National League, but in the American League, there's not a smarter pitcher than Jared Weaver.
There you look at those numbers, and they are special. .622 winning percentage. That will make you a lot of money in this game. He's going to be a free agent after this year.
Well, he's not going to get the real big bucks.
He doesn't need the real big bucks after what he's done.
He's not going to get them. He's going to get a good salary. No question about that.
One out.
When you have a guy that takes the ball, goes to the mound, picks up as many innings as Weaver does, he's going to be valuable. There's the off-speed pitch. That was his straight change, middle of the plate. Doesn't do a great deal, doesn't have to. Weaver comes in with just over 100 innings pitched. He's only walked 27.
Pitch, says Buckner, at the bottom of the zone. First two games have been really well umpired. First game's probably best umpired game we've seen all year from Jim Reynolds. Not one definitive pitch that he missed in that whole ball game. Not one that was definitive. Eaton 4 for 8 in the series. 1 for 11 lifetime off of Weaver.
Weaver in his career is 29-7 in July. So for whatever reason, July has always brought the best out of him.
That's the best in Major League Baseball.
It's just when you look at the numbers month by month and realize that his entire career, which has spanned a good portion of time, he has not lost double digits in the month of July.
And he walks him. So right now let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Mike Leary and the crew. Well, they went with Chuck. The fans are going with Melky. Steve's going with Morneau and Dino Spadali and myself. We're going to go with the youngster, Omar Narvaez. So here is Abreu. Abreu 2 for 7, a couple of doubles in the series, and against Weaver in 11 at bats has 2 hits.
Right-handers this year, for whatever reason, have hit Weaver just a little better than the left-handers. That should bode well.
Well, besides that streak he's got going against us, 7-0 in his last 7 starts. In day games this year, he's 4-1 with a 3.26 ERA. In his career in day games, he's 42-23 with a 3.06 ERA. In years past, the preponderance of hitters would much rather play in the day. But that was in years past. Now you get, I would say it's at least 50-50, maybe 55-45 guys who'd rather play at night.
You play so many more games at night. And it always surprised me in spring training, because here's spring training. You play almost entirely your schedule in the daytime. Then you go back, you start the season, you play almost the entirety of your schedule at night. Doesn't seem to make a great deal of sense early in the season.
Well, they're starting to play a few more night games in spring training than they used to. There was none played at night. Except for the Yankees down in Lauderdale. Pokes that one to the short center field, and there's a good play by the second baseman. Wow. And he doubles him up. Wow, Gregorio Petit. And that'll retire the side.
Lineup his Angels for the game this afternoon. Yunel Escobar, Cole Calhoun, and Mike Trout at the top. See Trout struggling for the first time. Slight struggles. Then it's Pujols, Choi, and Simmons in the middle with Cunningham, Bandy, and Petit rounding it out. The defense and on the lineup behind Jacob Turner, Cabrera, Shuck, and Eaton in the outfield with Frazier, Anderson, Laurie, and Abreu in the infield. Omar Narvaez gets the start behind the plate, and Jacob Turner on the hill. His numbers are from Charlotte in AAA. He wasn't overwhelming, but he's getting an opportunity here today because Carlos Rodon is disabled. He was called up. There you look at the numbers in 18 starts. He'll face an Angel team that has been red hot offensively, although you'd never know it by the game last night when both pitchers were dominant.
Here's Escobar, 2 for 7 in the series. He comes in hitting at .320, 3 homers, 28 driven in. Angels hitting at .265, our club hitting at .249. So 16 points higher for the Angels. They have a 4.42 team ERA. We have a 3.99.
Angels don't have near the team speed they once had, but ahead of the three guys, Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols, you just don't want to walk Escobar. Of course, that ship has sailed.
4 in a row. Well, I got a feeling that no speed on this team is going to change with the new GM. With the communication that Mike Scioscia has with him, Zepler. You know what Mike's going to say when they talk about acquisitions.
Well, they want some speed. They're going to have to acquire it because they've got a barren farm system to this point.
Well, he's going to say, give me some guys who can catch the ball and can run.
Well, they got one guy, Petit, can catch it and play 3 different positions, and we saw him with a sparkling play to end that first inning.
That ball hammered. There's a nice recovery. Slipped as he started in for that, and a good recovery. And we'll take another look at that inning-ending double play started by Petit.
Here's our Mazda replay cam, and a good play by Petit. Adam Eaton straying off the bag, gets doubled at first base, taken out of the inning. Kind of a tough play for a base runner in that you can't really see what Petit is going to do. He made the over-the-shoulder catch, and then after that it was easy, but Weaver very happy to get out of the inning.
Well, he couldn't see the distance between Petit and the ball. And you can't blame Adam Eaton for getting doubled up on that one. So here is Trout, 0 for 6 in this series. Comes in hitting at .316, 18 homers, 59 driven in. He has faced Turner twice. He's 2 for 2 with a homer.
Single most impressive at bat of the series was turned in by the man you're looking at last night. And it did involve a base hit. He went up there and he knew with the infield back, if he just hit a ground ball, he would score Escobar. Turned out to be the only run of the game. He had a most unusual, most unorthodox swing, but it produced the ground ball to the right side that he needed, and he drove in his 59th run.
Well, that was a veteran at bat from a young player.
One of the reasons why you win one MVP, second 3 other times, and will be at least in consideration this year, although I don't think he will win it.
Good lead by. That's in the center field, hit hard, so a couple of rockets hit. Fortunately, for the most part, right at him. So here's Albert. Albert He's 0 for 6 in the series. So when you couple that with Trout being 0 for 7 now, and all of a sudden you play 2 games and you lost them both. That's not very good. Like Trout, Pujols has faced Turner twice. He has 2 hits. One of them, like Trout, a home run.
Angels have won 6 of their last 10, including the 2 in a row in this series that we know about. Certainly, they're 14.5 games back of Texas. Talked to Mike Scioscia about being in the race every year and suddenly not in the race this year and his feelings.
That ball hit hard, way back. It is 2-0 Halos.
There's been 3 Rockets consecutively in this inning, and this one left the ballpark, the 16th of the year for Pujols. He's now driven in 62. And Albert Pujols, who had a big year last year, not having quite as big a year this year, but he doesn't miss this one. This is a lively ballpark in the daytime, and shots that will hold up at night will go out in the daytime.
Nighttime wasn't going to hold that one. That was just a line drive hammer. And the guy who was out there to give him a big hug when he came to the dugout was number 27, Mike Trout. Quite a 1-2 punch.
We talked last night about it briefly. Since Trout came to the Angels and Albert got to the Angels, they have been inseparable, with Trout learning everything he can and talking every opportunity he gets to Albert Pujols, who's been through everything that Mike Trout is going through now.
All right, after 1 it is 2-0 Angels.
And click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner for the latest stats and information. Sox Game Zone is powered by Dodd Camera. They're family owned for 125 years, handling all your photographic needs. Dodd Camera, where the focus is on you.
2-0 bad guys, or an oxymoron, Jumbo Shrimp. The Angels, bad guys. Cabrera. There's a base hit.
Beaver can't throw too many high fastballs at 84, and Melky as he did last night in the 9th inning. Put runners at the corners and only one out. Singles to left field.
All right, let's do something. Frazier. Don't get a lot of those.
He's 2 for 5 lifetime against Weaver, so he's seen him pretty well, although he hasn't seen him all that often.
Well, one of the stats that jumped out at me before the game was in the last 11 games we have played here at the Big A. In the last 11, we've won 1. Now rack them up. 2 down. Second double play turn in 2 innings. So here's a guy who didn't get any hits last night, but he hit 3 balls right on the money. He was 0 for 4.
I would think if he keeps it right there, seeing the ball as he obviously saw it last night, he's going to be a huge addition, because the one thing this ball club has been looking for is some left-handed pop.
Well, in a case like this, when you're looking for some left-handed power, and Marno becomes available, there's a strike that was off the plate. That's a case where the pickup is either good or bad at the time you make it, not what happens after. And that was a good pickup.
I think it was a terrific pickup because it's a no-lose situation by today's standards.
Well, that's why it was a good pickup.
Yeah, and that's why it was a no-lose situation, because you gave him $1 million to rehab for you, knowing he wouldn't be ready when you got him. But coming back with the amount of power that he can produce, if healthy, and he says he's entirely healthy, he can only help.
The ball hit hard for a base hit.
So Petit was out there and he was deep enough on the grass, but that ball was hit so hard that it just got by him. Well, the first hit as a member of the White Sox, he got his fastball down the middle. Put a good swing at it.
And here's a guy who's got the best numbers of anybody in our lineup against Weaver.
Here's Brett, 5 for 17 with a couple of home runs and 5 knocked in. Souvenir time right side.
This Angel team's got a pretty solid, if not spectacular, defense. They got a Gold Glove in right and Cole Calhoun. You know the exploits of Trout in center. Simmons has been one of the best defensively at any position in the major leagues, as you take a look in at Mike Scioscia, who gives all of the signals to the catcher on occasionally what pitch he might like thrown, but also what he wants to do with a base runner out.
High pop up, playable. Couple of hits, but second double play turn, and after an inning and a half, 2-0 Halo. Bottom of the second inning. Hamilton. Simmons takes first pitch strike. Had a 13-game hitting streak broken last evening. It was a personal best for him. Oh, and 2 the count.
That was a good curveball snapping over the inside corner, so he's gotten on top, something he had some problems doing last inning. Hopefully Jacobs a little more comfortable this inning. Former first-round draft pick of the Detroit Tigers, so he had a great arm. There you look at the major league career, 11-25 and 51 starts.
He did not go. He gone.
Got ahead through a fastball perfectly over the outside corner. That was at 96, the best fastball he's thrown in the early going.
There's Todd Cunningham. That one at 97.
Was claimed off waivers from Atlanta. It was last year on October 9th. He got to the big leagues with the Braves in 13 and 15. Normally, Mike Social will use him as a defensive replacement. We saw that last night. Made a great throw from left field to make sure that the runner stayed at the corners in the 9th inning. Sun-splashed afternoon.
There's a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Celebrate the holidays in the middle of the summer with Christmas in July on Friday, July 22nd. Purchase a specially priced game ticket, receive a voucher for a White Sox Santa hat. Also stay for the post-game fireworks set to Christmas music. To purchase this ticket package, visit whitesox.com/Xmas.
Here's Jeff Bandy, the catcher. Big man. Big man. Can't get that one.
Bandy was 0 for 3 last night, but his contribution was making sure that not one splitter got by him. And Shoemaker was brilliant. 13 strikeouts, no walks, threw a lot of those splitters in the dirt, and nothing got by Bandy, even in key situations.
We didn't have many of those.
Nope. Not against Shoemaker. First complete game, first shutout of his professional career, and he could be hardly any better ever than he was last night.
Well, he got a lot of help from our guys, chasing a lot of bad pitches. Almost got it a little too high. Meanwhile, nice comeback inning, 1-2-3.
Subway third inning triple play promotion. Text Subway 3 to 97999 right now. 300th texter will receive a $30 gift card to Subway restaurants in the Chicagoland area. Subway, fresh is what we do.
2-run homer by Albert Pujols in the first inning. It is 2-0 bad guys. For Albert, that was home run number 576. So here's Shuck. 1 for 6 in the series. Takes first pitch strike. High and deep. Stretch. Stretch. Nope. Just not enough power on that one, and it's long out.
Weaver's given up 21 home runs this year, and that time he tried to throw a cutter, and he tried to throw it on the outside corner, but didn't get it there. And Calhoun, who plays deep anyway, back there to make the catch.
So here's Omar. Just 24 years old, out of Maracay, Venezuela.
That's what he did in 41 games at AAA. Over the course of his career, he's gunned down 40% of the base runners trying to steal against him.
That ball hit hard in the gap. Nobody's going to get that one. So Dina Spinelli's pick to click with his first major league hit. A double. First major league at bat, first major league hit.
He got that breaking ball, and that one didn't do much. That his 67-mile-an-hour special drove it in the gap, and a chance to break through with only one out.
Well, he's got a little credential there. He's a 282 minor league hitter. So here is Anderson. Struck out on that curveball his first trip. I'm going to show you when we get a chance that ground ball that he fielded off the bat of Todd Cunningham. Something they may have to work with him on a little bit, although he has been really good. Coming into this series, he'd only made one error since being called up. Now, he made 2 in the first game. He made another one last night.
Cunningham with a good arm in left, and Calhoun a very good arm in right.
That's popped up right side. And let's take another look. Now watch how he comes in and charges this ball, and watch him at the waist. Watch how he bends over at the waist. He's got plenty of time. He's just putting himself in a position right there where that ball takes any kind of funny hop at all. Just the slightest little bit, or sometimes not even have to. You got a chance to boot it. You gotta, when you got that kind of time, you gotta let your knees, your legs take you down, because when you bend at the waist, the head goes forward and you lose the angle on the ball. So here is Adam. He walked. You're giving yourself the worst of it when you try to make that approach to the ground ball.
Omar can get a nice secondary lead because at the moment nobody's paying much attention, although now Andrelton Simmons is getting a little closer behind him at second base.
And there's a base hit, so he's going to score, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Adam on his way to second base. Here's the throw. He's safe. And our scoreless streak is over. We had gone 34 and 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball.
RBI number 30 for Adam Eaton. That one was a cutter away. Took it right over the head of Simmons and cuts the lead in half.
Don't stop now, boys. As here's Abreu. Hit a little, what appeared to be a Kansas City special. A little high looping duck snort out there in the short right center field that Gregorio Petit made a terrific play on. Over the shoulder catch, turn around, and then doubled up Eaton, who had walked. Two 2-0. Souvenir right side. Boy, I tell you, it's just a gorgeous ballpark. 330 down the line, 380 out there in left center, 365 in short right center, a little under 400 dead away center. Michael Eisner is the man who redecorated this thing. That's out of play.
And Bandy goes out. He wants a word with Weaver. Probably doesn't like that particular location.
Eisner also, who was CEO and chairman of the board of Disney, had vision enough to go ahead and buy a Major League Baseball team. Now, there was a chance that Orlando could have gotten one, but the fellows down in Orlando thought that baseball would be fighting for their entertainment dollar, which was entirely wrong thinking. Hit him on the fist with that 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Turned out to be a pretty good investment as well. Return on investment, I should say. Off the end of the bat, another little looper right side. And that'll retire the side as G-Man makes the catch. Here in the bottom of the third inning for them, it'll be Petit, then back to the top of the order with Escobar and Cole Calhoun.
He's a pretty good player and can play just about anywhere. Swing a solid bat, if not spectacular. We already saw the defensive prowess.
Pretty good pass at that one.
Angels feel pretty good about the fact that they're going to get $50 million coming off the books next year. Joe Smith, C.J. Wilson, who just went through arm surgery, and the man on the mound, Jared Weaver. Like Sosha knows that there's going to be a few bucks in the coffer to go out, make some expenditures, but they don't usually go after the international free agents, especially those that cost a few bucks.
Who lives in Caracas. In the right field, count a corner.
Check out the White Sox baseball blog at WGNTV.com, sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent serving the area for 38 years. So join the nation. Visit JeffVuk.com because Nationwide is on your side.
That'll bring up Escobar. Yunel walked and scored in the first inning. They have 2 runs on 1 hit. We have 1 run on 4 hits. But their 1 hit was a bullet. Line drive home run right over the center field fence by Pujols.
Escobar only the 3rd Angel third baseman to have at least 100 hits before the All-Star break. Ernie Lansford, who was a good one, and Sean Figgins, who was very good in his days with the Angels, were the other 2.
Ball jumped up and bit him.
Well, that one right off the right side. He has a tendency on his swing to lean over the plate or fall over the plate after the swing.
That actually is not a bad technique. Well, he's doing it at a 320 clip.
A lot of folks that feel that after a couple of very good years and the fact that the Angels are not going to be in the race, that Escobar would be on the market. He hit .314 last year for Washington, so he's put together back-to-back very solid years.
Found the hole, and that'll bring it Cole Calhoun.
This infield is not quite as hard as it used to be. It used to be one of the fastest in all of baseball. It's still pretty firm because obviously a whole lot of sun. Conversely, very little rain, and usually when it's not hit at somebody, it will find its way through, as that one did.
Cole 0 for 1, but it was a hang woofle. I mean, it was just a rocket right at Adam Eaton. Cole said he did not go
take another look. And the appeal to Manny Gonzalez, who says he did. That one flip a coin, and it went Jacob Turner's way.
Regroup.
Pretty good draft pick when they picked him in the 8th round, 2010, out of Buckeye, Arizona last year. 26 and 83 on the power numbers. And you factor a Gold Glove into that, you get yourself a very good corner outfield.
The 0-2 pitch. Back him up. Nice feed right there by Brett Laurie. And it's still a 2-1 Angel lead. Top of the 4th, it'll be Cabrera, Frazier, and Morneau.
"75 years ago today, the streak of Joe DiMaggio came to a close at 56 games.
Ken Keltner
made 2 great plays, and that was it for the streak.
Third baseman. Oh, and 2 the count. Melky lined a single into left field his first trip. That one is 75. Puts it on him.
Sox fans, join us as our Sox take on the Tigers on Thursday, July 21st at 7:10. First 10,000 fans will receive a free Chris Sale t-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Todd. Todd in into a 6-4-3 double play. 86 mile an hour fastball. Highest I've seen was 87. I watched him pitch a game several weeks ago. Didn't watch the whole game, but I watched, I don't know, 4 innings or so. Highest I saw him hit was 84. High. Calhoun. 2 down.
It's pretty amazing when you throw so many off-speed pitches, cutters, straight changes, very slow curveballs, that a guy can look tardy 86, 87 miles an hour, but that's what Weaver has always depended on.
Well, one time he was a pretty hard thrower. Fun to watch these guys who were hard throwers at one point. As here is Morneau. He had a solid single back in the 2nd inning for his first hit in the Sox uniform. As I mentioned, if you're just tuning in, 4 at bats last night. First 3 times up, hit it hard, coming up empty. But it's fun to watch these guys make a transition to go from a hard thrower to a cunning and guile, finesse. Guys like Weaver, guys like Frank Tanana, who came up with the Angels, who had some of the best stuff in all of baseball. He'd throw it up there, 97, 98, hurt his arm, came back as a finesse pitcher, and had a long career after that. Louis Tiant, another one.
Weaver is number 3 all time in strikeouts for the Angels. He had some huge years, 20 and 5 in 2012. 18 and 9 with very little stuff in 2014.
Well, you got to take into consideration too, in that time zone where he was winning all those games. As I mentioned, he is 57 games over 500. He was one of the few pitchers, I don't know about the National League, but in the American League, he was one of the few pitchers that also used some intimidation on hitters. He would knock you right on your behind.
233 strikeouts he had way back in 2009.
Had him way off balance. Get out of here. Get out. It won't. And that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th, trailing by 1.
Table list for the Dodgers. There you look at the numbers. He was off to a pretty good start before he really hurt himself, and finally the back injury put him on the DL. The injury report is brought to you by Dr. Anthony Romeo Orthopedics. If you have any shoulder or elbow problems, go to RomeoOrthopedics.com or call 312-432-2342.
Well, needless to say, the sports industry in medicine is flourishing. All kinds of records going to be broken. Days on the disabled list. Unbelievable. But it's understandable once you think it through a little bit. In many respects, this game has become an agent's game. And agents are continually trying to increase the shelf life of that ball hit hard. Off the fence. So Trout with a double.
It was a rolling breaking ball, and that one just missed going out of the park. Mike Trout had slowed down around first base. He thought it was going to be a home run. Instead, high off the wall, this Trout hits the daylights out of it. He loves the ball down, and even rolling breaking balls, he hits hard. Melky's going to make a play at second base as Trout stumbles a bit, but easily crossing the second.
Well, he hit the top of the bag instead of looking at it and hitting the very corner where he should. Looking at the ball. And here's Albert. Boy, he just absolutely kowtowed one back in the first inning. And if you missed it, poof, here it is.
16th home run. He's driven in 62. Line drive rocket. Mike Trout, 22nd double of the year. He's got the team lead now in that department.
One and two the count. Sox, as I mentioned earlier, last 11 games in this ballpark, we have won 1. That's foul. Out of play. Well, Johnny Miller shot 63 1 year at Oakland. They call, a lot of guys call it the greatest round of golf ever played to win the Open. Our congratulations go out to Henrik Stenson, who shot 63 today at Truman to win the Open. Just magnificent round of golf. What a striker of the ball. Wow. It is 4-1. That is home run number 17 and home run number 577.
Only 5 players in the history of this game to hit at least 15 home runs in his first 16 years, and the man trotting around the bases is one of those guys. So 2 two-run homers in the early going, and this one another rolling breaking ball, and Albert just rolled it on out. Long at bat, that one doesn't do much. And Albert pounds this one.
Well, he's got now 53 career multi-home run games. One of the greatest hitters in the last 50 years, which would put him in the category of being one of the greatest hitters all time.
But watching him in the first series he ever played, you could just tell with his balance, his strength. He faced Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson in a 3-game series. I was there in Arizona, and his balance was great. He hit the ball to right field, hit the ball to left. Took it exactly where it was pitched, wasn't fooled or intimidated by anything or anyone, and you just knew that it was going to be a great career.
Choi. Now 1 for 2.
So here's Simmons. He struck out. There he goes. That's in the center field.
So Troy taking advantage of a young pitcher, probably thinking more about the rolling breaking ball than he was about Choi at first base. His first career stolen base, gets a great jump, and unfortunately Jacob Turner was not paying any attention. That's a heads-up base running play by Choi. Sox fans, join us as our Sox take on the Tigers on Saturday, July 23rd at 6:10. First 20,000 fans will receive a replica 1976 navy blue throwback jersey presented by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Cunningham. Todd grounded out to Anderson. Four runs, 5 hits for them. 1 run, 4 hits for us. So if you're just joining us, that streak of what got to be 34 2/3 innings snap. Top of the 3rd. Double by Narvaez and double by Eaton. All right. 2 down.
Is Cunningham well out in front of this? Nice block by Omar.
So here's Bandy.
Seattle coming up. We're going to see Chris Sale, Jose Quintana in the first 2 against the Wades, Wade LeBlanc and Wade Miley, and then Felix Hernandez in the finale of that series, coming back off the DL.
That's 5-1 ball game.
Well driven in by Bandy. Bandy wasn't supposed to play today. In the original lineup, Giovanni Soto was in that lineup, but he's just coming back off knee surgery, and although he played very well in the opener, probably that knee bothering him again, so Jet Bandy gets another shot, and now a run batted in.
Petit went out to right field. Chet Bandy resides in Phoenix. 6'4", 235. I would think that if Turner is out there, the next time Pujols comes up, you better think twice, because Albert has faced Turner 4 times. He is 4 for 4 with 3 home runs.
Think it's pitch around time next time?
If he's out there. Three in, 2 out. 2-2 the count. Just got a piece of it.
Seen some strange things in baseball the last couple of days. There was a walk-off balk with San Diego beating San Francisco last night, and today a walk-off passed ball for Cincinnati. Won a 1-0 ball game. Billy Hamilton on the pass ball scoring what turned out to be the only run of the game against Milwaukee.
It is 6-1.
RBI number 15 for Petit. We told you he was a pretty good solid player, and that time rifled it down the line past Abreu. Don Cooper is going to come out and have a word with Jacob Turner. Going the opposite way. Drove in the 4th run of the inning.
They have 7 hits. 2 of them were singles. Final meeting of the year between these two clubs. This is the 7th and final meeting. In the first 6, they have won 4 of them. And there is a beautiful, look at the peg, beautiful play by Tim Anderson. But big crooked number goes up on that 4 spot. And we'll go to the 5th, not good.
take the weight out of banking with Fifth Third's faster mobile app. Spectacular play to end the inning. Tim Anderson going to his right. He's got plenty of time as Escobar, thinking he had a base hit. Well, think again.
What a play. Lower third of our order. Laurie, Shuck, Narvaez. Brett popped up to Choi at first base. Sox after the game. Well, we'll head on up to Seattle. Tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Wade LeBlanc. A couple of southpaws in that one. And then on Tuesday, Jose Quintana against Wade Miley. So 4 left-handers. 2 in the first game, Sale and LeBlanc. 2 in the second game, Quintana, Miley. Then in the finale on Wednesday, Miguel Gonzalez against the King, Felix Hernandez. Andrelton got him, 1 out. And that game tomorrow will be over Comcast Sportsnet. The game on Tuesday over WGN. And then the finale of that 3-game set and the 6-game road trip, it'll be over Comcast Sportsnet. Safeco Field in beautiful Seattle. Want to know the count to Shuck. He's 0 for 1 out to right field. Ball hit in right. Cole Calhoun. He can go get him. Good play.
In the 3rd inning, our Xfinity Speed replay. That's the first major league hit, Omar Narvaez. And then on the double by Eaton, to put an end to the scoreless streak. Speed Replay is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Catcher. Also, Alex Avila on his way to Charlotte as we speak for a rehab assignment. And if you're just joining us and watching for the first time in this series, we had good pitching from our starters in this first 2 games. Miguel Gonzalez pitched well, and then Shields was just outstanding last night. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Dadgummit. Just missing a home run, and we're halfway home, trailing by 5. that streak of 34 and 2/3 scoreless innings with that run in the 3rd inning. So right here to lead it off, Cole Calhoun. He's 0 for 2, and he's hit it hard, very hard once, and then hard the second inning. Takes a breaking ball strike.
You have to love this time of year, because as we get closer to the trade deadline, you see which teams are going to trade who to which contenders, what they're going to get in return. Sometimes you might hang on a little bit longer than you would want, and might be the case with Oakland. As Rich Hill, who a whole lot of people were interested in, had a blister on his throwing hand. He was pushed back from his Friday start until today. Well, he left after 5 pitches today for aggravating that blister. So that trade might take a little luster off that deal before it's over.
1-2 the count to Calhoun. It's full.
Indians having some difficulties, and an injury popped up that might hurt them. That's Yan Gomes, has a right shoulder problem. The pitching staff has been outstanding, but Gomes is a pretty good catcher.
Second walk issue.
Fans, you can join us as our Sox take on the Baltimore Orioles on Saturday, August 6th at 6:10. First 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox retro batting practice pullover presented by Coca-Cola. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com.
Trout started off last inning with a bullet double off the left field wall. Once again touching on DiMaggio's 75th anniversary of his, at the end of his record hitting streak, 56 games. Talking to Miguel Cabrera about it, and asked him, will it be broken, and he said no. He arguably is the game's best hitter. Michael Enoa. Up until about 15 years ago, I always thought somebody could possibly break it. All individual season records, I thought it could be broken. But with the change of culture in the game of baseball and the advent of the bullpen taking over, it's going to be very, very difficult to do.
A lot of hitters also talk about the constant shifting and the fact that guys are not taking advantage of a shift to hit it the other way or bunt it the other way. They just continue to try to hit into the shift, and the shift is taken away a lot.
Absolute dumb. Yeah. That's all that is. Dumb.
That's what's happened.
But Joe DiMaggio, if you ask a lot of American League players, they will tell you he's the greatest player that ever lived. Yes, National League players, they'll tell you Willie Mays is the greatest player that ever lived. But I don't care how good you are, Willie and Joe, they didn't have to face that stuff coming out of the bullpen in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning in their career. Most of the time, if they faced the starter in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, they were facing a guy who was fairly tired because he'd been out there for 7 or 8 or 9 innings. Hitting today is tougher than it's ever been. It's getting tougher. Three and one. Payoff pitch.
You'd think, barring a double play here, that this is going to be the last man Jacob is going to face. Noah is heated up and ready to go. And today's villain, Albert Pujols, in the on-deck circle.
Pujols is a much bigger person than he appears on television. He got some tremendous arms. As there's ball four, and we'll see Robin come popping out of that dugout. Third walk issued. All right. So Jacob Turner gets hit pretty hard. Gives up 6 runs. 7 hits. He'll depart, and we'll be back.
Take on the Baltimore Orioles at 7:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Athletico Physical Therapy. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. We got a new pitcher in the ball game, and that new pitcher is the man you're looking at, Michael Noah, on for the 8th time. ERA 4.32. Inherits Angels at first and second, nobody out. Trying to keep Albert Pujols in the ballpark for the first time today. First 2 times up are 4 drives of the game in the first inning. Escobar with a walk and a 2-run homer by Albert. And then in the 4th, Trout with a double and a 2-run homer by Albert.
Well, they have been hot with the bats. They've been scoring runs, and they have not stopped today. So 2 on, nobody out. Watch out. I want to clarify what I just mentioned about the guys in the past not facing stuff out of the bullpen. Well, that's true that these guys today are facing. But make no mistake about it. Our great stars of the past, your DiMaggios, your Mays, your Williams, your Musials, and all those guys, they would have been stars today. They would have been stars 50 years from now. They would have been stars 100 years from now. Those guys were great. And they also had the advantage of, back in that time, learning how to make adjustments, sometimes from pitch to pitch at the plate. So they would have made the adjustment. Outfield straight up, spread out. Miguel Cabrera was thinking the same thing. He said all those guys, DiMaggio, Williams, they would be great in this era right now. That was a good pitch and didn't get it. So 3 consecutive walks, load them up.
Don Cooper now will come out to talk with Michael Inoa. And Albert takes a walk.
There's Choi. 1 for 2. Six-1 Angels here in the bottom of the 5th. Good swing. Just underneath it. And checking some other scores for you. After 8 in Minnesota, 5-1 Cleveland. After 11 in Washington, Pirates and the Nats tied up at 1. Bottom of the 9th in St. Louis, 6-3 Miami. Marlins 48-42 after a terrible start. Top of the 4th in Oakland, 3-0 Toronto. Houston shutting out Seattle 3-0. That's in the bottom of the 3rd. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore 5-2 down in St. Pete. High in the center field. Here's the throw. And it's 7-1.
First run batted in for Choi on a sacrifice fly. That run charged to Jacob Turner as Calhoun scores.
Choi looks like he's a pretty good player. 302 career minor league hitter. So here is Simmons, a strikeout and a ground out to Anderson.
Choi's going to get a whole lot of play because he's the left-handed counterpart along with Marte we've seen in this series. Right-handed counterpart, the platoon system at first base, as Tommy Kahnle starts throwing in the pen. And there's a look at Tommy.
Taking some other scores for you. Texas beats the Cubs 4-1. Hamels 10-2. over Lucky 7-6. Mets shut out the Phillies 5-0. DeGrom, one hitter. Atlanta shuts out Colorado 1-0. Cincinnati shuts out Milwaukee 1-0. Detroit beats Kansas City 4-2 at Comerica Park. That's into right field. And that's out number 2.
Number 37, Tom Cunningham.
So here's Cunningham, a grounder to short and a strikeout. One in. 2 on, 2 out. High and wide. One pitch. That's fair ball. Another one's going to score. And it's 8-1.
First run batted in for Cunningham, who was a late addition to this starting lineup. He drills this one down the line, and that will close the book on Jacob Turner. So as this one rattles around for a 2-base hit, Turner 4+ innings, 8 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. His day is done. Then runners at second and third for Michael Inoa.
And here's Jet Bandy. Breaking ball strike. Jet 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a run scored last inning. All right, a couple more across the plate, and we're into the 6th, trailing by a lot.
official White Sox debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC. Jared Weaver, we got a commanding lead. He's 11-2 lifetime against the Sox. His ERA lifetime below 2. And seemingly has things well in hand here today. Now he's going to be a free agent, and the question will be where he wants to go, and do they still want him around here, albeit for a little bit lower salary than he's currently making.
Top of the order here in the top of the 6th. Anderson takes curveball strike. Gentleman struck out, and he is popped up to first. 33-year-old veteran Jared Weaver out of St. Charles, Missouri. Now, St. Charles, for a lot of our older Sox fans, very familiar with St. Charles because that is the home of my all-time favorite White Sox player, Mark Buehrle. High to right, 1 out. Had a nice letter from John, his dad, John Buehrle, the other day. Said Mark is doing great. Said he's doing a lot of fishing, hunting, and he's probably right now in as good a shape as he's ever been in. What a pitcher, what a guy. Ball hit hard by Eaton. Boy, he's swinging that bat. Doubled in our only run back in the 3rd.
First baseman, number 79, Jose Abreu.
And here's Abreu. Yeah, Mark last year, after the season was over, hung him up, and he's going to go out as there's a base hit. His record last season, 15-8 with a 3.81 ERA.
Not only a great career, but the distinction of being beloved by all of his teammates wherever he went, whatever uniform he happened to be wearing, and that's a tough thing to do. But Mark Buehrle was that kind of guy.
It's doubly tough in today's culture in baseball with the internet and guys having a more diverse opinion about things because of that, of the internet, social media. Mark's one of those guys, you might tie him, but you're not going to beat him. That's into left field. So nothing across. It was the base hit by Abreu, and we still trail it big.
And it is Tommy Kahnle. He comes into this one. We saw him in the opener on Friday night. There you look at the numbers. On for the 7th time. The ERA a touch over 5. Last night it was James Shields throwing a gem, only to come up short. Not for lack of his effort. 2 hits, 1 run. Threw a complete game and got an L for his efforts.
The team 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Out of play. Yeah, Mark Buehrle. 14 consecutive seasons with 10 or more wins, 200 or more innings. And he only missed last year by an inning and a third. Thus in his career, 214 wins, 160 losses, plus 54. He's 54 over 500. That's what's going to take him, in my opinion, into the Hall of Fame. Don Drysdale, who, as he gets him, 1 out. Don Drysdale, my former partner, God rest his soul, great pitcher, Hall of Fame. Don only had 209 wins. He got into the Hall of Fame. Catfish Hunter, a former teammate, probably the best teammate I ever had. It's amazing how close he and Buehrle were. They same size, they looked like brothers, they had the same kind of personality, the same kind of stuff. Catfish is in the Hall of Fame with 224 wins, so he won 10 more than Buehrle, but he had 166 losses. He lost 6 more than Mark. That ball is just tattooed. He's 2 for 3.
Escobar just having a really good solid year. Takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle, takes it right back up the middle. Escobar would have had a perfect day today, but for just a brilliant play by Anderson at shortstop. That came in the 4th inning, robbing him of a base hit.
Here's Cole. To another count.
Mike Scioscia has been here a long time. Catcher out of the Dodgers organization. been a great manager. Only one other active manager has more wins than the man you're looking at. That's Bruce Bochy, who manages San Francisco Giants after his long stint with San Diego Padres. Scioscia in his 17th year, and he's been a wonderful manager.
And he is still a young man. He's 57 years old. I think he has, I believe, one more year on his contract here.
They're going to have a hard time if they don't want him finding another job.
No. That's the question is, will he want to continue on? Little double clutch right there. Can't turn it over first because of that. So 2 down.
I have an interesting note, and that is that Joe Torre, representing Major League Baseball, sent a memorandum to front offices and managers, general managers, assistant general managers, and managers about arguing balls and strikes. And the quote was, "It's highly inappropriate conduct and it's detrimental to the game and has to stop immediately."
I saw that, and Joe was right. I just hope Rob Manfred gives him the leeway to do a couple of things that I know Joe wants to do. If he does, then Joe will take care of it. If he doesn't, then there's nothing he can do about it. Trout.
And one off of Omar, and Trout giving him a little time, as is C.B. Buckner. Apparently he's okay.
Mike Trout is a great ambassador for this game, as is the guy on deck. Right there has been a tremendous, obviously, player, but also a tremendous ambassador for the game of baseball. High into right field. We're into the 7th, trailing by 7. Frazier, Morneau, and Laurie. About 0 for 2. And Jared Weaver trying to make it 8-0 in his last 8 starts against us.
He's averaged just right at 6 innings per start. So he's right on average. Trying to run his lifetime record to 12-2 against the Sox.
And trying to run his lifetime record to 20-2 in the month of July. Outfield straight up, squared out, spaced about equidistant. In the finale of this 3-game set and the final game of the year between these 2 ball clubs.
Big motion, very slow breaking ball. Good biter low and away.
I haven't been watching his motion that much, but usually as a rule with a guy who throws a lot of slow curveballs, there's usually a tell or a little something in his motion that's just a shade different if you can pick it up. One hopper. So 1 out. And that'll bring up Morneau.
Designated hitter, number 44, Justin Morneau.
Justin has singled sharply, and he has fouled out to the catcher. But just going by last night in his first start in the Sox uniform, the way he swung the bat, and just the way he looks, his presence, he looks like he might be back. There's the old lollipop. Just underneath it. He has big power everywhere, but he was just underneath that one.
Family Sundays presented by Coca-Cola at U.S. Cellular Field feature tickets as low as $5 in the upper level and $15 in the lower level. You also get special kid-focused activities throughout the ballpark. Plus, parking is available for only $10. Visit WhiteSox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today.
So here's Brett. Popped up to first and grounded to short. If you're just tuning in, they scored 2 in the first. Just an awesome home run by Albert Pujols. They scored 4 in the fourth. 2 more in the fifth. Tough outing for Jacob Turner. After the game, off to Seattle. Right off the end of the bat. He's not going to be able to get him. So that was a Kansas City special right there. Right off the end of the bat and field hit.
As soon as this one got by Weaver, there was no chance for Petit. Red hustles on every play anyway. Beats it without a play.
Here's Shuck. Twice he's gone out to right. Had the plate and it goes Chuck's way. First two nights, big crowds. Good crowd today, but they're averaging 38,120. So off the end of the bat, Cole coming on, makes the catch. So he's going to take care of Chuck 3 times. Meanwhile, 7th inning stretch, not good.
Scoreboard and the schedule. So far, it's all the Angels, 8-1. And the Major League debut of Carson Fulmer. Saw him in spring training. He was a starting pitcher at AA Birmingham. There you look at the numbers, getting an opportunity to work out of the bullpen. And this, 8-1, 80-1. Equally as exciting for Carson Fulmer.
Out of Vanderbilt. Got a very engaging personality, this young man. And of course, us not having seen him that much, they say he is a terrific competitor. So far, the first hitter that he will ever face in his hopefully long and illustrious Major League career, he's got his hands full. Here's Albert. He's 2 for 2 with 2 two-run homers. He now has 577 of those babies.
Fulmer has a most unusual motion. Good curveball.
And that fastball at 93.
That's a good straight change. Had Albert well out in front of it.
And he strikes him out. So our congratulations go out to Carson. as Albert will grab some bench facing that rookie.
The appeal to Field and Culbreth. And I think Albert's a little surprised.
I didn't think he went. But side.
He'll take it. And knowing that first man you ever faced, you struck out, is a future Hall of Famer, that's exciting.
Here's Choi. He's 1 for 2 with the sacrifice fly.
Got a lot of pitching first-round draft picks. The Major League team together. Carlos Rodon, who's on the disabled list. Third player picked in the country in the first round. Chris Sale, 13th player picked in the country in the first round. And Carson Fulmer, the third first-round pick to be on the Major League team together.
And that is popped up short left. Timmy made the call. That's the reason Melky put it. Been a lot easier play for Melky, but Timmy made it early. So 2 down. Here's Simmons.
Garrison has adopted what a whole lot of pitchers are doing these days, which is almost no backstep whatsoever, and almost going into the stretch, although not quite, to limit movement, take away the possibility of falling out of sync. David Price was the first to use that exclusively.
Got a motion a little bit similar to Ryan Dempster's, with the hands and the glove, the moving. It worked pretty good for Dempster. Well, he was a good pitcher, and he's become a terrific analyst for MLB.
He also was a closer as well as a starter, and that one hit him.
Oops. Why not? Why not do something out of convention, so to speak, to get a little deception or give the hitter another look. Hitters love the conventional windups. So a nice debut for Carson Fulmer. He strikes out Pujols, and we're into the 8th, still trailing big.
birthday, anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. So to book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard. And that's going to be it for Weaver, who goes 7 innings. A run on 6 hits. Deolis Guerra on for the 18th time. He's been pretty good. 18 strikeouts, just 1 walk in 26 in the third, 2-0, ERA 2.73. He inherits an enormous lead. And Weaver did today what he's been doing since he put on an Angels uniform against Sox ball club, and that is completely handcuff him. Gave up a couple of extra base hits, both coming in the third, putting an end to the scoreless streak. But that's about the sum total of the offense today.
Well, if things don't turn around here, which they can, not likely, but they can. In the last 12 games we will have played in this ballpark, we have won 1 of the 12. And Weaver will go 8-0 in his last 8 starts against us. As here's Omar, first at bat in the major leagues, hit a double in the left center field. Gun, easy. 1 down.
Guerra was a Rule 5 draft pick last year out of the Pittsburgh organization. Made it to the big leagues last year with the Pirates. Won 2 games, high ERA, just about 6.5 in 10 appearances.
You know, we were talking about Mark Buehrle earlier in those 14 consecutive years with 200 or more innings, missing 15 by an inning in the third. It ties him for 4th all time in that category. Now listen to who he's tied with. Christy Mathewson. The only 3 guys in front of him are Cy Young, Warren Spahn, and Gaylord Perry. Another feather in the cap of hopefully going to Cooperstown for Mark Buehrle. As he gets Tim, now 0 for 4. Timmy now 0 for 11 in the series.
Right fielder, number 1, Adam Eaton.
That is some kind of elite company for Mark Buehrle. Wow. So here's Eaton. Adam has walked, doubled in a run. And if you're just tuning in, that broke that consecutive inning scoreless streak at 34 2/3 innings. So Adam 5 for 10 in the series.
And the Angels, who'd been scuffling in the starting rotation, got 7, 9, and 7 out of their starters: Santiago, Shoemaker, and Weaver.
That's not who you play, it's when you play them, and they're playing us at the right time. Unfortunately, not the way we had hoped to start the second half. Outfield straight up. And make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. 9:10 Central start over Comcast Sportsnet. Chris Sale against Wade LeBlanc.
On Tuesday, Jose Quintana against Wade Miley. That game over WGN. On Wednesday, in the finale of that series and road trip. Miguel Gonzalez against Felix Hernandez, and that game over Comcast Sportsnet. That's Souvenir left side. That ball hit well into left field. Cunningham. 1-2-3 inning, and we still trail big.
Angels about hit our Sox 9-6, been an errorless game. It's 8-1. Albert Pujols, 53rd career multi-homer game, and Omar Narvaez, his first major league hit. That's exciting. It's brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. Garson Fulmer out for his second inning of work. Had a strikeout, hit batsman last inning, and he'll deal with the bottom part of the order in 8, 9, and 1.
High right side. Right size, wrong shape. 6'4", 235 pounds, a big man. Big, strong man. Here you go. I love that little motion, that little flipping of the, as I talked about earlier, give the hitter a different look.
Here's our Miller Lite play of the game, and it came early. Great play by Petit. He doubles up Adam Eaton out of the first inning, and Jared Weaver was awfully happy after a walk to Eaton, thinking about maybe a big inning, but it was not to be.
And that was not, if you're just tuning in, bad base running by Adam Eaton.
That was one of those tough plays that you just didn't know. It looked like it was going to fall in. Softly hit. And falls for the base hit.
Petit with 2 hits today, including a run driven in. We're getting a start. He's made the most of it. And Gregorio, pretty good player, can play just about anywhere. And in this day and age, with limited benches because of 13 men on the pitching staff, you have to have versatility to hang around, and Petit has that.
So here's Escobar. That's the souvenir right side. 0-2 the count. They're in the bottom of the 14th inning in Washington, tied at 1 with Pittsburgh. Bottom of the 6th in Oakland, tied at 3 with Toronto. Houston leading Seattle 4-0. Bottom of the 6th at Safeco. D-backs shutting out the Dodgers 5-0 after 5 in Phoenix. San Diego leading the Giants 2-0, top of the 5th at Petco.
That was a great stop by Omar, saving the first wild pitch in the career of Carson Fulmer. Not quite sure how he did that, but he was able to flip it up in the air. And no advancement on the part of Petit.
But you way behind Petit. All right, take your time. Rack him up. And we will go to the 9th. We need a whole bunch just to tie.
With MLB.com at bat. It's the app that allows you to stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. So Joe Smith, another one of their big 3 free agents, on for the 31st time. He had 2 very good years with him. This one, quite as good as he would like. 6 for 9 in save opportunities. 1-4, 4.80 ERA.
Jose Abreu will start it off for us. Sure like to get at least a few runs just to get a little momentum, so to speak. Offensive momentum. Going into that Seattle series starting tomorrow with Chris Sale on the bump. Give Chris maybe some support. Jose is 1 for 3, a single back in the 6th inning. Outfield around to the right as there's low ball 1. Checking some other scores. Cleveland beat Minnesota 6-1. Miami beat St. Louis 6-3 in St. Louis. 1-1 to count. Texas 4, Cubs 1. Hamels 10-2 the winner. Lackey 7-6 takes the loss. Hangs inside. And that's yank foul. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's full. Marlins, as I mentioned, beating St. Louis 6-3. Marlins now 49-42. Mattingly's got those guys after a horrendous start. 7 games over 500. Watch out. Takes his time, makes the throw. Good play. So 1 out, and that'll bring up Cabrera. Escobar knew he had the right man running. So here's Melky. Melky 1 for 3. Shutouts today. A lot of teams scoreless. Shutout. Cincinnati 1-0 over Milwaukee. San Diego leading San Francisco 2-0. Arizona leading the Dodgers 5-0. That's popped back and out of play. Mets shut out the Phillies 5-0. Atlanta shuts out the Rockies 1-0. Just goes to show you, as we talked about earlier, it's tougher to hit today than it ever has been. It's become a battle of bullpens for the last 10-15 years now. Well, the manager's trying to get a bullpen that will allow them to manage a 6-inning game. If we don't score in this inning, we will have scored 1 run in our last 41 innings.
Outfield really spread out and straight up. Frazier waiting on deck. And the count 2-2. If you're just joining us, Albert Pujols, he's been the man once again. 2 two-run homers, one in the first inning and one in the fourth, and both of them were bombs. Albert now with 17 on the season, 577 for his career. Coming into this game, our pitchers had held Trout and Pujols hitless, 0 for 12. Now if he said the ball hit the ground. 2 down.
We'll take another look. Didn't look like it hit the ground, but you never know. Robin arguing with C.B. Buckner.
Well, CB called him out on his own, and Robin said, why didn't you get some help from Gonzalez at third base?
That ball looked like it stayed in the glove, but maybe from this angle.
We're down to our last out. Todd takes ball 1. He's 0 for 3 today, 1 for 11 in the series. Watch out.
That bat went a long way.
Well, he's a strong man. This should have gone a long way.
This one hits the outfield grass over the head of Escobar.
A 1-1 to count. Over our guys in the season series. That pitch inside. Split the 4 back at our place. And we're down to our last ball. Just got a piece. Come on, Todd, get on for Justin. There's more than another at bat. Shot base hit, that a boy. All right, Justin. Put us on the board here, buddy.
After a battling at bat, he takes this one to the right side. He gets his first hit.
Justin just hammered a single into right field his first at bat. He's 1 for 3. One pitch. Chris Sale tomorrow night. Make your plans to be with us. Game over Comcast Sportsnet. 9:10 Central start. Good job by Justin. He took something off that little spinner. And another souvenir left side. Tries to dot the outside corner, backdoor him, and couldn't do it.
Backdoor slider goes around the plate. And he tries to ease it into the zone, but C.V. Buckner would have none of it.
Well, I wish we could say the umpiring cost us a little bit in the series, but I can't. Calls him out on a check swing, and this ball game is over. We get swept. We have scored 1 run in the last 41 innings, and we'll be back.